Hello and a very warm welcome. Myself, Shiba Chauhan, Senior Editor of Elets Technomedia. I welcome you all to this captivating webinar organized by InfoWeb in association with Elets Technomedia. The webinar will look forward to explore the theme maximizing email deliverability, checklists, best practices, and actionable steps from the expert. As we all know, email deliverability is crucial when you regularly send millions and millions of emails. Monitoring the deliverability rates ensures that your email reach the right people and get the maximum return on your efforts. More emails landing in the inbox brings more ROI, and it's also strengthen trust and credibility with your customers. Talking of the same, experts from the InfoWeb will address the complexity of email deliverability and how to mitigate pitfalls like ensuring a correct setup, use of a winning domain, and appropriate IP strategies, warm up, avoiding blacklisted domains, and managing sender reputations. I hope you all are ready to delve into this exciting and knowledgeable session. Let's begin first with the product presentation on proven guide of maximizing email deliverability tips and tricks. For the same, let me invite Sai Reddy, deliverability lead InfoWeb. He has over 8 years of experience in this area. In this role, he helps clients from different industries like bank, e-commerce, ride sharing build email strategy and achieve the highest deliverability. Sai and his team understand how to maximize performance for clients with database containing billions of emails and provide the most up-to-date best practices. I would also like to invite Anton Maronik, Product Manager, InfoWeb. Anton builds an effective and powerful email delivery infrastructure at InfoWeb that can send email rapidly. He helps large senders from various industries in easy integrating delivery service into the existing systems and developing a strong email strategy. Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much for the introduction. First, I would like to give you a warm welcome to this webinar. Hopefully, it will be useful for everybody joined here. You will learn something new and you will be able to use this into your daily email sendings. I would like to start with some introduction. So, as we were announced, I am Anton. I am Senior Product Manager within the Info for the last 5 years. And I'm working on email as a product. So pretty much I'm owning everything that we're working on, from creation of the newsletters, from sending, from warm-up, from building all the tools that are required for the clients to establish maximum email deliverability. Together with me, we today have Sai. He will introduce himself a little bit later. I will first start with introduction a little bit about the InfoWeb. So Sai, you can put the next slide. Already said or did the agenda, so we won't go into too many details on the agenda. We'll do the introduction part. Sai will take cover of best availability practices, and then we will be talking about some use cases and how we can help you with managing and sending emails. Sorry, Sai, we lost presentation.
I'm not sure.
Okay, you can go one slide back with the first one. Okay, who InfoWeb is? Not sure if you heard before. I like to think that you did, because InfoWeb currently is the world's most connected cloud communication platform. This is not some catchphrase. It's not something that we made up. This thing is validated by the numbers. So currently, we have 700 plus global MNO connections. We have 40 plus data centers available. We're doing more than 24 billion monthly transactions, and we have more than 3,500 employees. Currently, we do have 70 plus offices, and we like to say that the only continent that we are still not covering is Antarctica, and hopefully one day we will be there also. This statement has been confirmed by the Gartner, Juniper, and Omdia Universe research, where those companies and research find us as a CPaaS leader for 2022. I think, and I really assume that we will be at the same position for the next year. Currently, we provide services for more than 10K of customers. Those are the biggest customers of the market. Examples are Uber, Burger King, Strava, Blockchain.com, Raiffeisen Bank, and L'Occitane. This is just the fragrance of the customers which we currently support. As I already stated, we have customers all around the world. We are present globally, so list of the biggest customers is huge. Okay, next slide, please. We could be talking about our product stack and our product advantages a lot, but this is the thing that I always like to point out. So we have data centers available through the whole world. So we have data centers worldwide, and we ensure faster deliverability for all type of messages. As you can see on this picture, data centers are spread all around the world. So from whichever area you want to connect to the data center, store and send those messages, you will be able to do that. Our biggest competitive advantage, I will a little bit switch to the in the email context now, is that we have MTA machines deployed all around the world. So if you want to connect, for example, to Mumbai, you will be connecting directly to Mumbai DC. Whole data will be stored and processed there, and at the end, MTA machine from the Mumbai data center will be used together with the local IPs. So with that, you will be able to achieve local compliance with the data regulations. You will be able to achieve better, let's say in the case if you're using API better latencies, and altogether API will perform better. At the end, messages will be sent with local IPs, which will then at the end affect email deliverability and success metrics of those messages. This is a short intro. That's it from me for now. Sai will now take over and will speak to you a little bit more about the email deliverability and the context of the email. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Anton. That was really helpful. Hi, everybody. Myself, Sai Reddy. I'm an email deliverability lead from Infobip. I manage deliverability and helps clients onboarding process, providing customized warm-up strategies and providing insights to clients to achieve the best results. I also work closely with the engineering team to build the MTA to improve the deliverability tools and enhance the deliverability overall. Okay, so let's start with the email sending challenges, what we regularly see overall in the industry. So if you say about the email sending, every campaign sends emails, but not every email is delivered. Considering the industry best parts, like 95% is considered as a reasonable delivery rate, and whereas 80% is considered as the average delivery rate. But are just delivery rates enough to consider your email campaigns are performing good? I say no, because delivery is something emails are sent to the mailbox. But when it comes to deliverability, email is sent to inbox, whether the user has received the email or not. So the delivery rates are the key points for the deliverability. The more your delivery rates are, the more your chances of getting strong deliverability. Low deliverability rate results in loss of opportunities and a decrease in revenue also. So how to maximize our deliverability? So from my experience, I have noticed like the basic steps which initially most of the clients miss during the configuration, during the sending, the initial sending. So we try to cover all those points so that you get an idea how to start email marketing, way to focus, and what all the things to be considered. So here we will discuss on domain and IP strategies, warm up, how to build or maintain reputation, email list validation, and key metrics to monitor the deliverability. The first tip is domain strategy. So always use a separate domain for each sending purpose. So if you are sending a marketing email, keep a separate domain for that. And if you're sending a transactional emails, keep a separate domain for that. In terms of ISP, the reputations of sending domain is a crucial part along with the IP. So they treat differently, whether it is a marketing email coming from the sending domain or not. So keeping a separate sending domain will always help to keep the reputation separate. And it also helps in the sending speed also. The transactional emails are more time sensitive. So it should not be parallelly sending with the marketing emails. Best tip is avoid the cousin domains. So cousin domains are usually sounds like a spam, not only to the recipient as well as the ISP. Sometimes the recipient thinks like the domain, if the domain name is not looking as a brand, they think it is an spam email, and there are the chances they can hit the spam report spam. So avoid using cousin domains as much as possible. So tip two is the IP strategy. So you have selected the domains, but what about the IP? So when you come to IP selection, you will have two options: dedicated IP setup, shared IP setup. But how do we select like which IP suits for us? So the answer stands on what kind of emails you are sending and what is the frequency of volume you are sending. So if you are sending more high volumes with a more frequency, the best mantra is always go with a dedicated IP. And if your volumes are not much higher and you are not sending more frequently, then go with the shared IPs. So we can discuss about the pros and cons for shared and dedicated IPs. For shared IPs, you will get a benefit of the IPs are warmed up, pre-warmed up. So it will save your time when you keep pausing your emails sendings. So it will benefit you like IPs will be already warmed up from the other senders. If you consider a con side, the IP reputation completely depends on the other user's behavior. So you cannot have a control over the IP reputation. Always you have to rely on the all the senders. Coming to dedicated IP, reputation is completely determined by you. You are the owner of your IP. So you can play around the reputation. You can build the reputation. You can control the reputations. The con side, you have to do the warm up. It's completely based on the volume. It takes 6 weeks or 8 weeks. But what is the volume you are sending based on that, the time of efforts will be taken. So another tip from the IP strategy. So like we said, from the domain side, use a separate domain for marketing, use separate domain for transactional. So same applies for the IP also. Use separate IP for transactional, use separate IP for the promotional emails. It is always recommended to keep a transactional IP as a separate for a better deliverability because the reputations of IP stands plays a crucial role. So when you keep a separate IP reputation for transactional, it gives more flexibility to deliver emails and in a faster way. So setup is ready. So what is the next step? So the next step is warm up plan. So do we really need a warm up plan and why we need the warm up plan? So I have noticed like most of the clients are not agreed with the warm up plan. So they said like we have a domain which is warmed up from the other ESP, but what about this one? Can we go with the shared IP and can we go with the without warm up? No, that won't work. So usually any changes you make in the setup or configuration or you are coming as a new sender, you always have to introduce yourself to the ISPs by sending slowly and building the trust with the ISPs by showing the engagement and the reputation building. So it will take some time to build the reputations at the ISP and you need to do the warm up. To the ISPs, you are always a new sender and any new sender who shows a suspicious activity, it is a red flag to them and they either throttle or in most cases they directly block the sender. And to repair the damage, it takes a lot of time. It's better to build the reputation rather than repairing the damage. So on the side, you can see the basic warm-up plan. It is a generic warm-up plan we provide most of our clients. Like you can see on the day one, you can send 200. From day two, you can send 500. That likewise, you can scale gradually over the volume. and you can reach based on your targeted volume. So here how InfoBip helps with the warm-up. So we have a best feature, automatic warm-up. InfoBip provides an auto warm-up to users, send a campaign and relax. They don't have to worry about this list segmentation, how many email they have to send on a day 1, day 2, day 3. So that part is taken care by the auto warm-up. You just send an email and relax. The auto warm-up will send the campaigns based on the daily quota and based on following all the best practices. For large scale customers, we also provide a custom warm-up plan to scale the volume gradually to achieve the best results. Another best part is bounce alerts. InfoBip provides a bounce alert. Before getting damaged, the InfoBip provides an alert to the clients so that they can understand what exactly going at the list level, which list is giving high bounce rates. So they can react immediately and they can work on the reputations part and the list. So we also have a dedicated email deliverability team. We work closely with the clients, helping their requirements and their targets. We provide all the necessary steps and the customized warm-up plan to scale the volume. So tip 5 is the generic mistakes like we have seen or experienced on a day-to-day tasks, like the most generic issues like sending a large volume to a campaign occasionally. For example, your sending domain is sending a 100K typical day volume, and you are keeping that consistent volume for a long time, and all of a sudden you have to send a big volume, 1 million or 2 million. That is not acceptable from the ISP end. So ISP either throttle them or they block the sender at a particular ISPs. So don't send a high volume, so make any high spikes. So always examine your standard day limit and try to scale the volume gradually. Second thing is sending campaigns to invalid lists. So it will increase the bounce rate, and higher the bounce rates, the higher the risk of getting blocked. So before sending to any new list, validate your list and try to introduce new list with a certain amount of data to the existing list rather than sending all the new lists at once. If you don't have any idea on the list, always try to validate the list and introduce slowly. So tip 6, regularly validate your email database and periodically clean your database. The best thing is InfoBee provides a email validation, and it will help to identify all main type of high risk contacts, invalids and non-existent mailboxes. So use the validation list whenever it's possible. If you don't have any data and the data is on hold for a long period of time and you have no clear picture what kind of a result this kind of data gives, use the email validation and always reach the right recipient. So we have done the setup warm-up process, but how do we know like our deliverability rate is working or deliverability rate is good? So we have provided like the key metrics which will help you to monitor your deliverability rates, or based on that you can optimize your performance. So these are the key elements: delivery rate. The high the delivery rates, the high your deliverability will be. Bounce rate, the lower the bounce rates, the high your deliverability. Open rates, the engagements, clicks, and unsubscribes. Always provide the unsubscribe link to the customers to avoid the spam complaints and respect the unsubscribes. Always monitor the spam complaints. What are they are getting? Why they are getting? What we can do to suppress this spam complaints. So this is the bonus slide from the InfoBip side, and these are the generic tools most deliverability teams use, most deliverability experts use. So the first one is Gmail Postmaster Services Monitor. It will help you to monitor the domain IP reputation, spam rates, and delivery rates. The second one is Smart Network Data Services. It is provided by the Microsoft for Hotmail, Outlook, and the other ISPs provided by Microsoft. So it will help you to monitor the IP reputation, whether it is good, bad, or medium. And it will also give you the spam trap hits, how many hits has been sent on that day. And the third one is MX Toolbox. It will help you to monitor the IP domain blacklist, and you can work on the delisting process in there. Next one is sender score. It helps you to check the sender score of an IP. And the last one is the paid tools for inboxing testing. So you know the delivery rates are performing good, but what about the whether the emails are landing in inbox or not? So you can do from the inbox testing. There is another thing, you can use your own seeds or internal seeds to do the inboxing testing and can check where exactly the email is landing, whether it is inbox, primary, promotional, or spam folder. So I hope everything is covered, and we have optimized all these things and framed in a such a way like we have made a checklist for all those things, onboarding side, and when the onboarding is done, when your emails are sending, what are the performance checklists you need to monitor. So here are the main elements. When you onboard, check for the sender reputation. So which covers domain strategy, IP domain warm up, IP domain reputation, and email authentication, whether you are aligning with the SPF, DKIM, DMARC, and all the authentications path or not. Next thing is email performance checklist, uh, validate database. Always try to use the validation process when you are not clear with the data, and always use a double opt-in rather than single opt-in or purchase list. Periodically clean your list and suppress the bounces and respect the spam complaints and suppress them. Content content plays a crucial role in terms of engagement. So to increase the click rate, open rate, and everything, use the appropriate subject lines. Always use a mobile friendly templates. So provide a CTA so that user can click easily, and avoid caps, excessive things. Include unsubscribe, like I always said. Respect the subscribers and provide a clear opt-out process. Avoid shorteners, URL shorteners. URL shorteners are the key to the red flags to the ISPs. Next thing is monitoring. So like said, metrics are the main thing. So this is what gives you the insights how exactly the campaigns are performing. Focus on campaign metrics, do the inboxing testing regularly, check the domain IP blacklisting, use the postmaster services to understand the ISP level reputations, use the IP sender score to analyze your IP score. So that's it from my side. I think I have provided most of the things, and it will help you for the better deliverability. Uh, and it will help you to maximize your deliverability. So, Anton, can you please?
Sure. Thank you, Sai, for the overall update on the email deliverability. Hopefully, this was useful for everybody. Uh, just one more thing from my side to add here. So, as I said, everybody's sending emails. Not that every email is getting delivered. So there are rules, there are things that needs to be followed. When we were talking to the people, there is a lot of people which think that email is just click it and it's going to be sent. You've seen that whole story is much more complicated than that. So uh, when we talk about info, we are here really experts in email deliverability and email sendings. So we know all those rules. We comply to all those rules. So it's always better to leave those things to be handled by the professionals. By professionals, I mean on Sai and his team, especially on the email deliverability. So I would like to share one thing with you. So we have prepared this webinar to explain you how email deliverability works, to help you with that. But also, as a participant of this webinar, you are and you will be able to get 50% discount on the email traffic with us, with Infobip. So if you ping us contact here in the chat, and we get in touch, you will get 50% discount on the email traffic which you start sending with Infobip. Also, together with that, you will get full support from our email deliverability experts, which will guide you through the onboarding stage, review your traffic, give you best practices, and help you to achieve best possible deliverability rates, together with that to get best return on investment on this part. So if you're interested into talking to us, be free to ping your contact here. We will ping you, and together with the best practices which will be shared with you, you will get 50% of the discount on every message that will be sent with InfoBip. Okay, I don't know what's next on the agenda. Do you have some Q&A or? By the way, we cannot see presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anton and Mr. Reddy, for taking us through the various tips and tricks for maximizing email deliverability. Moving ahead, so okay, now let's move ahead to a rapid and fiery session. Fireside chat. The theme will be demystifying email deliverability for impactful email campaigns. Look forward to explain demystify email deliverability for impactful email campaigns. Allow me to invite Syed Saifraz Hussain, Enterprise Accounts Lead, Infobip, and also Lakshay Holani, Senior Brand Manager, Niva Bhupa Health Insurance Company Limited. Over to you, Syed Saifraz, sir.
Thanks a lot, Shiba, and welcome Laksh to the insightful chat. And thank you very much for your precious time. Let me quickly introduce
Thank
you,
you so much,
Laksh,
Sarfaraz.
let me quickly introduce you to the audience. So, audience, Laksh is a senior brand manager with Neva Bupa, and he has worked with big brands like Max Life, ICICI Prudential, and Reliance Jio. He has a great experience in use of digital marketing in insurance industry, and today here he is here with us to share his experience on using email as one of the key tools in the insurance industry. One quick line on Neva Bupa. So Neva Bupa is one of the standalone health insurance companies in India, and they have settled some 1 million plus claims, since their inception. And they have some very innovative products like Reassure 2.0, which you can actually Google, and you'll definitely find them very, very path breaking. So let me start by asking you, at a very broad level, what do you see as a role of email marketing or email initiative in the insurance industry? So how many emails do Niva Bupa is sending, is in a month, and where do you see email playing, especially when insurance industry is concerned?
So rather than a month, I'll quote the figure of what our yearly deliverables are like. So basically, we send out around 90 million emails in a year, or more than
Okay.
that. It depends that how it goes out. And these are segregation on transactional and promotional scope. In insurance industry, either it be life or health. So email really plays a very critical role. Before the onboarding of the customer, a customer always want to get educated about that, yes, what my health insurer or life insurance is actually looking at. And the main chain of communication can be email. Definitely, it's a much substantiated one. You can have elongated formats with an email, and in fact, it's very cheap to reach out to the customer. So hence, it helps us to make a customer more aware in that way. But once the customer is onboarded, their expectation from an insurer is always that yes, you have to be connected with me. And the bigger challenge in the insurance industry is because it's a service driven industry. So you have to keep engaging with the customer in that entire tenure till the time his next renewal comes in, else he'll port to someone else. So hence
Correct.
the email marketing theoretically looks very sensitive, but in practical it is the most important pillar when it comes to digital marketing. So your customer is always going to be someone who is always going to rely on you, and emails are important from that perspective. Even in transactional emails, they'll look at all the information. In promotional emails, they'll think what new the company is doing for me. So that is something where email marketing is in standout communication from a marketing standpoint.
Lovely, lovely. Let me delve deeper into this, Laksh. So if you see email, you can actually categorize broadly into transactional emails and promotional emails, right? And
Correct.
it is very important to treat them separately, right? Can you share
Yes.
some examples or use cases of, how are you using transactional emails and promotional emails?
Sure. So basically, if you have to see and sense the approach, so transactional email are something which a customer typically will never ignore. It's something which is going to be informative and really valuable for him. Talking particularly about insurance, the renewals are the key primary factor or when a customer is getting onboarded. So transactional messages or emails include that yes, how my policy kit is going to come. So we send the policy kit through an email. That's in transactional email. The renewal dates are coming. So we have a set cycle of 90 days. So if my renewal is going to come at 1st of April, I have to start communicating to my customer from 1st of January. Even in transaction emails, we have to consider the approach that yes, we cannot spam a customer regularly because obviously he'll know that yes, his renewal is going to come. So our agenda is always going to be how to make him aware and remind him that your renewal is on the way. So you just renew it so the your policy doesn't lapse in a way. But also there, what we have seen that when you are doing these kind of communications, if there are customers who have renewed our policy from more than 3 times, we try to have a trend analysis that yes, are they able to renew it before that or does it lapse? And basis that now we are setting up the frequency. So at few stages, we are thinking that a customer who is not able to renew it properly, let have some more blast. And at that point of time, we have seen that the delivery rate was really high. Another very interesting matrix was that yes, when we are doing promotional emailers, customers tend to renew earlier. So there is an impact of promotional emailers in transit to the transactional emailers. So there is an open rate in BFSI. Transactional emailers actually record a very high open rate. So it's 40 to 50% sometimes. And promotional usually reports very less, which is 12 to 13%, depending on the content you're saying. But usually for us, what happens is that customer is genuinely interested in the content, and hence they open it, and we have recorded 30% as an average open rate throughout our emails. Also, we ensure that yes, the frequency should not be something which bombards the customer. And also there is a set. If I am going to go out to a younger audience, I'll have to have a content which will reflect to their dynamics. If I'm going out to someone who is in their 40s, then I need to have a content which will connect to them. Even on a general front, if I have something which is interesting, a contextual one like Diwali, then I'll communicate to all. But even at that point, even Sai was saying that you should never do a blast where you are reaching all out to 2 million customers or so. So at that point of time, we always think that how should we do it? What should be our strategy? It should not impact our domain. So these are very critical points, even from a transaction and promotional emailers.
Lovely. You spoke about deliverability. So how do you kind of track it, and how important is it for your email initiative?
So, as Sai has even covered it in his presentation, there are particular. I use Infobip the maximum, and that is the only vendor I prefer to use because of the services they provide. So that's where it comes that yes, the deliverability rate we are able to track. One interesting thing happened with me. So Niva Bupa transited from Max Bupa 2 years back. So Max Bupa was a very established brand, and then came into the picture is Niva Bupa, which is a newly brand. So we transited into Niva Bupa. But what happened then? We cannot have the domain of Max Bupa, which was a reputed domain. Now we were starting with a new domain, which is nivabupa.com. And then we were thinking that yes, the mails are landing into spam box of the customer, how to improve our domain authority, how we should go ahead. And that was impacting our deliverables as well. So at that point of time, what helped us that yes, we should have other subdomains with nivabupa.co.in. Firstly, try to build that credibility and then move ahead to nivabupa.com. So hence, when we started with other domains and we had a separate domain for transaction, we had a separate domain for promotional, we had a different domain when it comes to customer service as well. So at that point of time, what we understood that with this, we are able to build up our domain authority much higher. And in that scenario, we are able to track our delivery rate was going. So initially, when we started, it was 70%. Now we are at 95%. So that is a very good thing which we have observed. Another thing which is a very interesting point. So open rates, as I have discussed, but click-through rate is also very less. Click-through to open is usually towards 12% or 13%. But for us, what we have noticed, even in transactional and promotional, it's close to equal. So there is a 40% click-through rate what we have seen. It's next to impossible. What I should say, in email, it doesn't happen that easily.
Right.
But what we have seen that if you are going ahead with the right content to your customers and with the right strategy, with the help of Infobip, I am able to achieve that. So yeah, kudos to you guys as well on that.
Thanks, Sarah. very insightful. Otherwise, if you see, with all these, multiple factors which are impacting, deliverability, like sender reputation, spam filters, technical issues, your
Right.
challenges with email deliverability are endless. But great to get these, insights from you, Laksh. I think, great to see how
Even
these
one more,
challenges. Yeah, actually, I was coming to
Sarfraz,
that only.
even one, yeah.
Yeah, I was coming to
Please,
that only.
please
That if you
continue.
have any other, any other experience that you would want to share.
So one very important thing which I have observed. So you have to go mobile first. So that was one challenge which we always see on
Right.
an emailer. The UI really matters. But so normally if I'm gonna send my email through an Outlook to someone, it is going to be a little bit challenging. But usually when you are sending it via a portal like InfoWeb, what usually happens is that you are able to set that UI as per your mobile
Yes.
dynamics, as per the delivery with, and you can see it, you can test it, and even analyze that yes, is it coming out right or not. Another great thing was that yes, there are dark and light themes now on the mobile phone, so you have to be very much cognizant of the fact that how you should capitalize so the UI should not go off or afar from what you're looking at. And that is where Infobip portal really helps me out. That yes, you can send any kind of multimedia to your customer, you can engage with them in all the ways. So that is what a customer is actually looking into, and email marketing hence is a very interesting way of reaching out to the customers. That usually doesn't happen. But with a portal like this or with a little bit of strategy, it is happening. So that was something which I really wanted to highlight.
Perfect. Thanks, Laksh. I think with the kind of experience you have, I think we can in fact talk for hours together. But I think
Yeah.
now it's time. Thank you very much, Laksh, for those insights. And Shiva, back to you. Maybe we can now
Thank
move
you
to
so
the
much,
next.
Sarfaraz.
Thank you very much for being a part of this
Thank
webinar.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarfaraz. Thank you, Shubha.
Thank you so much, Lakshay. It's for the audience. You must be seeing a poll question, and if you're not able to see that, you can click on a tab below which mentions poll, and you can be a part of these interesting poll questions there. All right, moving ahead towards our very interactive session of the webinar, panel discussion. The topic for the panel discussion is the relevance of email deliverability industry insights. And the moderator for the session will be Sudhesh Sitaraman, Regional Head of Marketing India Infoweb. And our esteemed panelists, welcome Sudhesh sir. And our esteemed panelist for the session will be Ashwin Prajapati, Chief Information Officer, Symphony Limited. KV Deepu, Senior President, Head Operations and Customer Service, Bajaj Allianz General Insurance. Abhishek Singh, Head IT, ChiefFlightSphere.com. Over to you, Sudesh sir.
Thank you, Shiba. So, welcome everyone to this panel. Ashwin, Deepusa, Abhishek, and I thank you all for joining us this afternoon. So, this panel is going to be more on the industry insights for email deliverability, and let's also look and touch upon the aspect like how far email as a channel is still relevant in today's era. So typically, email marketing has been a crucial part of the digital marketing strategy for businesses across the globe. And with the increasing prevalence of email communication in both the personal and the professional settings, it is essential that for businesses to ensure that their emails are reaching the intended audience or probably recipients inbox in the right fashion. Now, to support, there are certain industry insights that I like to highlight. So basically, a study from Campaign Monitor says that the businesses use email automation see a hike of or a spike of around 119% in the click-through rates as compared to those that they don't use the automation, right? And it further says that the ROI of email automation is significant, with businesses seeing an average return of around $38 for every dollar spent on email marketing. Now, added to this, Infobip's recently published messaging trends report says that there were around 93% more email traffic on our platform in 2022 compared to 2021. And now with at least these data points, it would be fair to say that the rumors of the email death have been greatly exaggerated. And there are new digital channels for businesses to engage with the customers and prospects, but there's still an opportunity for email due to its mature set of features and widespread use. So with that, I would like to initiate the discussion seeking your inputs on the topic. So today we have panel of experts from various industries to discuss the relevance of email deliverability, and let's have their insights on how to overcome the challenges to achieve maximum ROI from email marketing campaigns. So my first question would be pretty much common to all three of you. What are your thoughts on the relevance of the email platform in your industry, and how do you think it has evolved over time? Deepu sir, can we start with you? Deepu sir, you're on mute.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. You said you're starting with me, right?
Yeah. Do you want me to
Yeah.
repeat the
Okay.
question?
Yeah. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Sudhish, to your question, from an email platform perspective, it obviously continues to be one of our major customer-facing channels, and especially during the pandemic, when digital servicing saw a spike, it became it came to the fore, and there was a significant traction across the enterprise. Especially I think in the Indian context, one area which is work in progress, but which is very important, is how can you bring in multilingual capability, because you need to have the ability to converse with customers in their language, and that applies not just to the start of the entire life cycle, but throughout the entire journey with us. I met a customer many years ago, right, and he was basically saying that one thing which we need from firms is not that they just hook us in our language, but how do they interact with us throughout the entire journey in our language. So I think that clearly becomes you know one ability which especially in the Indian context we need to take forward. The other is initially emails used to be shall we say, just a web form of the physical world. And then when we started to introduce call to action links immediately, it just took on a new trajectory. And that's when the email spike happened, and it turned out to be a win-win for customers as well as for firms, because they could instantly make payments, they could instantly renew their policies, and so on and so forth, which is when email saw a boost. And I think going forward, while we do not have the time to get into all the nuances which your colleague shared, but those are clearly the areas which we are focusing on in terms of email validation, in terms of bounce rates, in terms of domain IP, and ensuring that we also, for example, are able to collect data from various touch points across the enterprise, because we also moved from siloed data marts to a data lake. So that way we are also able to pick up what customers may share at different data points and bring them in together. So when you add all of this along with multilingual capability, I think the journey has just started in terms of email being a very significant customer facing channel.
Thank you, sir. Ashwin sir, your thoughts?
Thanks for this, and thanks Deepu for setting the context. You see, like company like Symphony, we are leading into air cooling solution, and we also have a two product categories. One is for industry, we call it large space venti cooling, and another is for a mass residential cooling solution. So in both the cases, it is very important to reach to the customer, near to the customer, get the pulse of the customer. So we are using, we are required to use the solution like mail automation and getting connected to the customer through mail. We also have our e-commerce platform where every action what customer and we initiate together has to be updated through mail. So email is a very important prime media of communication into the business. And added to that, one another point is like today with mail, now WhatsApp has also come up, like WhatsApp for business. where now customer expect every small change into his journey while buying need to be updated over mail as well as WhatsApp. So we use the marketing automation tool where mass mailing we do with to the customers, we get a response and all. Again, we also have a global presence, like country like Mexico, China, Australia, US, Brazil. We operate. So what Deepu explained to us is a challenge, or this is a solution we expect, like language. So language is a barrier because everyone, every country has its own language when it communicates. So so there the language. If we have some solution where any mail you exchange, while you can translate into the respective language, then then the productivity of mail will be good. Otherwise today if I get mail into Spanish, I have to put into Google, get it translated. So identical, if I send it mail into English to my counterpart, he will have to convert into that. So probably that is one area you will have to look. But yes, email is very important media, where let it be the internal communication or let it be your customer communication.
Great points there. Abhishek, sir.
So I think everybody has kind of summed it up very quickly and very aptly. So having said so, email is one of the most economical and most measurable solutions or the tools that you have for marketing and marketing automation. Uh, Apart from being the backbone of IT per se, saying that everything runs on emails, in terms of advertising and customer engagement, it has a high level of engagement and measurability attached with it. That is why we have seen so much automation, ESPs coming into play. Um, Click-through ratios that we are talking about are there, then the HTML designs are there. So it plays a very important role in terms of branding, customer engagement, and getting the eyeballs for your product, or uh, conveying the right information to your customer when it comes to transaction, whether it is your invoices, whether it is your receipts, and specifically in our industry where everything is now mobile, whether you are checking into an airport or looking at your meal coupon while you are in a flight, or any kind of late flights, early flights, schedule changes, disruptions. Everything happens over email. So that is why it is of prime importance that we have the right mechanism and right tools to engage effectively.
Got it. So thank you. I think now we have a good context and perspective from panelists across different industries, including their experience on change they have observed over time. I think now we can move on to the next set of questions where it will be more pertaining to the specific industries that you come from. Ashwin, we'll start with you, sir. What could be some of the best practices for improving the email deliverability? Of course there were certain best practices that my colleague mentioned during his presentation, but what according to you could be some of the key best practices, especially in your domain, which is like more like a mix of industrial and retail, and something that you have adopted for your organization? How do you think businesses can ensure that their messages are making it to their target audience inbox here?
Yeah, so like we use Office 365, and also we have used the other domain also in past. So as a company, what we do is that as we have trained our admin to ensure that whatever mail traffic end of the day read to the intended audience. So we also get some automated report from the panel that this is the throughput, that this has gone, this is the fail, the reasons of failing. Also, we have put some of the anti-threat protection over the mail, and some other add-ons we have put it to ensure that a mail deliverability is remain like whether it is a whitelisting the IP, whether it is a, it is the add-on, some add-on softwares to be put on the mail system to ensure that the mail reach to the end of the day. We get system reports that these are the mail volume. This has gone successfully. This has not gone. Whatever has not gone, we do the RCA, and then we take the corrective action. And also with mail, top of that, we also, as I told you, we have added some software to ensure that the mail reach to the intended audience, because we communicate across the world. It's not only in India, because our customers are across the world, our group entities are across the world. We use the common sharing platform, common mail, exchange things happen. So end of the day, it is very important. And other than that, we also ensure that it is protected well. So when it comes to the phishing and all, we have also ensured that we have put the anti-threat protection and some other things in place, so we won't be having any impact on the phishing mail, because otherwise phishing mail is very common. We get a lot of phishing mail. And also, we also typically, sometime it has happened that someone sent a mail using some leadership team to the entire company asking some sensitive information. And also there also we have constantly educate the people. We have put top on that, we also put the some of the additional application to ensure that we protected well on that. So two part, one is the mail deliverability. But again, with that, we are not keeping everything open. So, so we are doing the balance act when it comes to the implementing best practices. Yeah.
So thanks for that insightful response. So the two things that I can probably gather from your response, one is the deliverability, and the other one is the safety part, right? In terms of the database as well as the customer's privacy, right? Okay. Moving on, Deepu, so my next question is for you. Now, talking about insurance sector, right, where you have transactions like the policy documents, claim notifications, renewal reminders, payment confirmations, and so on. Your sector has has got wider application for transactional emails. So how do you ensure it is being maintained? And when it comes to the email authenticity part and the data privacy, how is that being taken care at your end?
Yeah, I think that's a very relevant question, Sudesh. Firstly, from a regulatory compliance perspective, it's important KRA for everybody in the organization, whether it is getting your cloud service providers to host data within the geographic confines of the country, or whether it's ensuring explicit consent from customers, in terms of fulfilling various infosec governance practices, such as auto destruction of data, so on and so forth. So I think clearly, that's an area which every firm in the industry adheres to. That's clearly priority number one, and you could even say priority number two and priority number three. Now, coming to your point around, what are the, ways in which you ensure validation, and, how do you ensure, collection of information while maintaining, customer privacy. See, when it comes to privacy, you give customers a choice. You basically tell customers, firstly, you get into explicit consent. So it's more about, opting in, rather than opting out. So just ensure that, customers are fully aware. The other is, it's also about educating customers. So you can tell customers that if you share more with us, we can give you more customized products. But in case you want to share, vanilla information with us, then we can give you standardized products. So the choice is given to the customer, clearly saying that, in case it's standard information, you can take a standard product. But in case, you customize it and you share more data, then, we can come back to you with a more specific offering. The third is, in terms of, when we interact with customers, across the entire, life cycle, what we do is, firstly, maybe it's a very small area, but a very important one. When customers are, filling in their data, we just need to make sure that we focus on that. If you look at a lot of forms, the space given to fill email, it's a very small one, right? How do you ensure that it's clear and the customer can fill it in? And especially when you're looking at digital means of filling it in, can you have a self-validation tool, which at the point of entry tells the customer, that the email ID has been entered incorrectly. That way, the customer, is able to share it. And then we also talk about, having communication with customers, where you tell customers that in case the information is entered incorrectly, how are they going to miss out, in terms of communication from us regarding various services and products. So if you can show what is in it for the customer, the ownership is high. So I think, self validation rules, ensuring regulatory compliance, ensuring that, the very basic task of entering, the email address is made very easy for the customer. And continuous education of customers in terms of transparency and what are they missing out on. I think these practices, have really helped us win trust of customers, as well as ensure, across the board, scaling up of email address availability.
Very well said, Deepa. So I think the keywords that rings the bell here is are like personalization comes with information, educating customers, and self-realization tools, right? With of course being compliant within the limits of the compliance rules. Yeah. So moving on to our next esteemed panelist, Abhishek. We heard on how email as a channel is being leveraged by different industries here, right? Now talking about your industry, which is an online portal, right? Providing the right information at the right time is very crucial to win customers trust and loyalty. Also, reaching out to your target audience with promotional deals to create awareness is a critical case for your industry, as there is no direct or in-person contact that gets established with your customer personas. So if you see, we are talking about transactional and promotional together, right? Now, given the scenario, how does email as a channel plays a role here in enhancing the customer experience for your organization?
So I'll say that the geography that we serve primarily is United States. So in India, most of the communication is now moving over to WhatsApp instead, apart from email in terms of transactions. But US is typically an email market still in terms of transactions. So quick and accurate delivery into inbox of all the transactions is directly linked with your revenue and your customer experience.
Abhishek, I'm sorry,
Uh,
your voice is really feeble. If you could please come closer to your microphone.
I am closer to the microphone. Let me switch the microphone. Is this fine now?
Oh, much better. Thank you so much.
So earpods tend to misbehave sometimes. So yeah, having said so, see, uh, if, if you are able to deliver e-ticket into the inbox and immediately as soon as the tickets are getting issued, you are losing your customer or you are creating a so in terms of transactions, your and your e-tickets are of prime importance. And similarly, are post-transactions or servicing transactions. Say, for example, if your flight is getting disrupted, getting late, or is the rescheduled, replanned, that information needs to reach the inbox of the customer with a clear and crisp subject line, clear call to actions, and clear indication in terms of case customer can read and acknowledge and act accordingly. If it leads to again customer experience, direct impact on the revenue. Having said so, this is on the transaction side of it. Now coming on to the marketing side of it. Everything it's, start from user simplification to user acknowledgement of getting onto an email list or abandoned cart or retargeting a particular user, sending the relevant details, segmentation is something that is of prime importance because that is the cheapest source of traffic. Uh, in performance marketing for an OTA is the most expensive source. and the cheapest and economical helps you retain your own customers and engage with them in a better way so that it gives you organic and recurring. That is where it becomes a primary tool for probably across all it is insurance or other store. It is important that you have your email deliverability and your tools and content done the right way. So apart from that, that's it. So you can segregate into various parameters, uh, segregate into the personalization. You can uh, segregate or optimize into how you write your subject lines, how you use infobip or any other competitors from the market. So that the combination of everything, and definitely what plays a role.
I think, okay, you're there. So I think, we got most of it. Now, maybe, what we can do is we can move on to one more common question for all, which will be like very, future looking here. So the question is more around what innovation and trend for email delivery you think would be popular in future. So do you think the era of emerging technologies like AI, ML, predictive analysis will impact the email deliverability? Or if you think that yes, then how the businesses can leverage them to improve their email marketing strategies? Maybe this question we can have again as a round the robin, and this time maybe we can start with you, Ashwin sir.
Yeah, so this that the what will happen like typically AI or AI based mail response or AI come over the email for any service provider has already started. So if you, I mean, this will definitely makes the responses faster. So first, like whatever. So when AI comes into the picture, the responses would be faster. You will be smartly managing your entire email account. You will able to smartly segregate the importance mail, non-importance mail. Definitely, the big productivity will improve. The you as you go on add the different smart tool over the mail. So let it be the response, let it be the segregation, let it be the let it be the responses, the sort of thing. So let it be the proactive alert. Other than that, also like converting the important mails into the messages, and so that is also one of the ask all the time. Now whenever you talks about the mail, the next question comes, can it be on message? When you talks about the message, the next requirement come, can it be on WhatsApp? So probably that you are going to have more and more business WhatsApp account, and whatever the content of mail you are going to push through, expectations would be like, can it be on WhatsApp, can it be on the messaging platform? So that would be the second part of it. And as that only the flip part of it, that with all the latest technology and all, we have to only ensure about the security of email. So like it's need to be well balanced. Otherwise that phishing mail or fetching the information from entering into your domain, and so that is the very common. So these need to be well balanced. So the partner who is, or a product company who is building up the solution, he need to well balance the latest feature with the security. Yeah, this is my
Great.
side.
So since you brought up that point on the security part of it, how do you ensure that you have the right partner who is handling your database, your side of communication? Maybe just an add-on to that piece, since we were on that point.
Yeah, so see, typically as a company, we have a strategy of de-risking ourselves from, let it be the ERP or let it be the any other technology. So we always try to go the cloud. So our all mission critical applications are on cloud. Our mail is on cloud. So we try to either go for a SaaS or PaaS platform or the cloud. So that's how we are de-risking ourselves in terms of backup, in terms of security, and in terms of that. So this is how we ensure that. And again, top of it, when you are with any partners, like again, we are that way, product or partner agnostic. So we have a, let us say, X company mailing solution, but on top of it, we may go for any other solution of ATP or a mail, or we are also using data loss prevention or mobile device management sort of thing. So these all solutions of a different product company sits over the parent company. So as a company, we are not married to any company. We are like a product and partner agnostic, and whatever best we put into it, and that's how we manage our stream. Because with the lean manpower and all, our strategy is to ensure that we have a good partner ecosystem in a
Absolutely.
place, so we will not have any downtime or we will not have a risk of the IT security.
Absolutely, which comes in as an additional factor in addition to the tools. Deepu sir, your thoughts?
Yeah. Sorry, I could just unmute myself just now. So from your point of how does email you know morph into various forms, or what's the future of email? Broadly, two perspectives. One is when you look at because you touched upon AI, right? How AI can impact email handling, from a firm's perspective. There are two dimensions. One is the little end of AI. So let's say you bring in RPA and then you handle low hanging fruit. But at the other end, we're talking about complex transactions, right? How do you ensure that AI can do the work that human beings can do? So from these two perspectives, you could have AI coming in and therefore ensuring real time responses to the extent possible to customers, so that you don't have to worry about staffing and queuing and
Yeah.
waiting, right? So I think that's one. The other aspect is when you look at email, email by definition has non-linear competitors, right? You talk about WhatsApp, talk about various modes of communication. And when you look at all these modes of communication, it is the interaction of text, voice, video, right, which will define how email shapes up. So to the extent that email can gear itself up and ensure that it can be enriched from these forms, along with the multilingual dimension that I spoke about, I think that will really determine in which way email goes in the future. If you have other modes which can ensure a higher interplay and better service to customers, then email will lag behind. But if email can ensure this, it'll continue to be on the top of mind as far as firms and customers are concerned.
Very well said, sir. Abhishek sir.
Thank you.
So I see from my point of view, from where I'm seeing email marketing, email campaigns, email deliverability as a discussion topic or the subject here. So it will be like I'll say that there will be five basic impact areas on it. So first will be personalization, optimization, segmentation, subject line optimization, and content creation. So we see tools like Chat GPT coming into play and other things. So these will be the primary area of impact where AI will be involved in terms of, if we talk about data lakes, data migration, ETL tools, data dictionaries. So there's a lot of AI and automation already happening there, which is helping on the personalization and segmentation of the user data, and making sure that the right type of communication is reaching the right type of audience. Now coming on to the creation of the content, which is getting you the eyeballs and getting you the CTRs. So all these tools that are now coming into market are definitely gonna impact how we are working today. That we have segregated teams for creating content, creatives. So these things will definitely change. It will be more optimized. It will be more fast, and it will be more dynamic in nature, and uh, the funnels and the pipelines will get automated and will get more efficient as these tools come into play. And I'm pretty sure that most of the ESPs are also now getting are integrating these tools into their platforms as
That's
well,
right.
which gives you a certain bit of quick automations so that you can just create some emails on the fly and just try them out.
Perfect. So keeping the time in mind, I think we are coming close to the closing segment. But again, we have a Q&A session after this. But just to conclude, I think we have some great valuable insights into this into the challenges and the opportunities part of it, right? And while you guys also emphasized on the importance of implementing best practices for email authentication, segmentation, personalization, and other aspects. We also highlighted the need to balance the frequency and relevance of email communication, which can probably avoid the negative experience. I think one more point that very explicitly that came out was that a data-driven, customer-centric approach is key to achieve optimal email deliverability and driving business growth in this particular digital age. So, with that, I'd like to thank all the panelists for this wonderful discussion, and I really appreciate you spending this afternoon with us. Shiba, back to you for the Q&A.
Thanks to you as well, Sudesh. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, everyone. I hope the session was very captivating, and the audience must have all the information about what are their queries. And moving ahead, I'll head to the Q&A session, and I would like to read first question for you all. The question is, how do email service providers like Gmail, Outlook, and Yahoo determine which emails to deliver to the inbox? And how can we optimize our emails for these algorithms? Anybody of you, if wanted to take this one? I request Sudesh sir to please
Is this
take
okay?
this.
Is this anything? Is this specific to Infobip, or maybe the questions for the
Any one
panelists?
of you can take this up.
Shiva, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. How do email service providers like Gmail, Outlook, and Yahoo determine which emails to deliver to the inbox, and how can we optimize our emails for these algorithms?
Yeah, so typically, if you take a like Gmail, Microsoft, or the other service providers, uh, they have their own algorithm in terms of, and there are some keywords based on which the delivery happens. So sometime even they will ask you to, when you are sending the email, if some emails are having some content which are objectionable, which you put into your in admin, then it won't, like if I try to send an email having a drawing word, it will not move if I put the necessary. So it all depend in your admin while configuring the email, which mail you want to give priority, which mail you want to send it out immediately, which mail you want to queuing. So all those features are possible while configuring the mail of respective service provider. It is like, and every company, like let it be Gmail, let it be Microsoft, or let it be other, has its own set of the rule need to be configured. And again, it evolve. You can constantly evolve once you face some problem statement.
Thank
Hope
you
I
so much,
answered
sir.
the question. Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to read one more question for you all. How can we adopt our email marketing strategies to changes in email deliverability rules and regulations such as GDPR and CCPA?
Anton, would you like to take that?
Yeah, sure. So pretty much all the local regulations are handled by Infobip. So pretty much if you want to be covered from the GDPR point of view, All the things are forced from our side. So you will need to add unsubscribes, we add that automatically. So we take care of the all regulatory things. And then if you don't take care of those, we take care of those for you. Also, as I already said, we have data centers which are available all around the world. So, for example, if you need to send emails to European Union and all the data needs to be stored there, covering GDPR, that will be covered by us. So we'll connect it directly to the Frankfurt data center, and all data will be stored there. Also, as I said, all the regulatory things are covered automatically by us, so you don't need to take care of that. Of course, you need to take care of the content that you send, but all the regulatory things are automatically covered by Influence.
Okay, thank you. I request the audience that there must be a poll going on your screen, so you can participate in the poll meanwhile the speakers are answering your questions. So I would like to take one last question for you all. How can we leverage email deliverabilities data to identify trends and patterns in our subscriber behavior and preferences? Uh, if anybody of you can
I
take
can
this
also
up.
cover that. I mean, I will be speaking from the InfoB point of view, but that depends a lot on the product that you're using. So for this, I will need to know more about your use case. Are you sending transactional emails? Are you sending marketing emails? Are you using API? Are you using engagement tool? Are you using simple broadcast? So with that, you will get a set of functionalities or features to leverage email deliverability data. For example, if you would be using engagement tool with us, you will get a lot of information on the performance of the emails, meaning who clicked, how clicked, when clicked. For example, on the clicks, on the open, same thing. Where the email dropped in the inbox, and then define all the other engagement steps accordingly to that. So this is pretty much a broad question. To be able to answer this concretely, we need to know more details. As I said, type of integration, type of the traffic, what is your use case, and so on. I don't know, Sai, if you have anything to add here.
Like Anton, whatever you said is true. So we need other insights also, like whether it is a transactional promotion and all those things also. And like you have covered all the engagement parts. So engagement parts are the main thing. So you can rely on that one, and you can study those engagement metrics, delivery rates, open rates, click rates, and you can understand your subscriber behavior and preferences.
Okay, great. I request the audience if there is any further question they would like to ask to our speakers, they can surely
There's one
do.
more in the chat, Shiva, if you can take that, please.
Yeah. So the question is, my current providers delivers emails from non-India IPs. Should I be worried?
In general, I would say yes. It's not still something that is written in stone, but like GDPR, CCPA, those things are coming to all the regions. I am not, maybe you guys, I mean, you guys know better. I'm not data regulation in India expert, but I know that there are more and more regulations that are saying that all the data needs to be kept within the region, meaning that needs to be kept within the India. Uh, Always is better to have it local. So why to go outside of the region if it doesn't have to be done? From my point of view, it's always better to stay local. And one day those regulations are coming to whole world. So whole world is getting, we are going into more privacy data mode. So we want to keep everything local. So I think that Abhishek has something to say. So be free.
Okay,
No, no,
great.
no, thanks. I think you covered everything.
Okay. So
Anyone else wants to add something?
No, I think if I think adding to what Anton and Abhishek told, GDPR is now very common, and data residing into the respective country is now even the security needs of the any company. So it's very important that we do the GDPR compliance or data remain into the within specific countries only. So this is what I also would like to add.
Okay, so I guess there are no further questions. Uh, I hope the session was all exciting and knowledgeable for you all, and I surely understand that now the audience will be able to deliver emails directly into the inbox after this session for sure. And thank you so much, you all, for joining us today. Have a great day ahead. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.